We're going to start with our second set of commas. We have a lot of rules to go over, so just be patient and we'll get through them as quickly and smoothly as possible. So our comma rule number 3 is that you need to use commas to separate coordinate adjectives. Now, we've not talked about coordinate adjectives, but you can look at the words and figure out what coordinate adjectives means. So again, like coordinate means they match, right? Like I said in one of the other PowerPoints was that sometimes girls make sure their purse matches their outfit. They want to coordinate, make sure they're the same. So coordinate adjectives, all those are adjectives, equal adjectives that modify, which means to describe the same noun. Now, if you want to decide if adjectives are coordinate, you can apply these two tests. You can reverse the adjectives, and if the sentence still makes sense, then most likely they're coordinate. And the next test is that you can put an and between the adjectives, and if the sentence still makes sense, chances are they are coordinate. Okay, I've given you two examples to try these tests on. The first one is he lives in an old, dilapidated house. So we know that old and dilapidated are both adjectives, so we're going to try to figure out, are they coordinate adjectives? So we reverse them. He lives in a dilapidated old house. That still makes sense. So let's try the next one. Let's put an and between them. He lives in an old and dilapidated house. And that still makes sense. So the adjectives old and dilapidated are both coordinate. So we will put a comma between them. In the second example, the famous plastic surgeon operates on Hollywood celebrities. The two adjectives are famous and plastic, and they modify the noun surgeon. So test number 1, let's reverse them. The plastic famous surgeon operates on Hollywood celebrities. I don't really think that one works because I would hate to have a surgeon who was made of plastic. But let's go ahead and try the second one and see. The famous and plastic surgeon operates on Hollywood celebrities. Again, I would hate to have my surgeon be plastic. So no, famous and plastic are not coordinate adjectives, so they do not need a comma between them. Okay, you're going to work on finding the coordinate adjectives and seeing if they need a comma or if they don't. If the sentence needs a comma, if the adjectives need a comma between them, you need to write the sentence. Otherwise, you can just write the word correct. So in the example, the sly, greedy fox attacked the chickens. If we look at sly and greedy, they both modify the noun fox. We reverse them. The greedy, sly fox attacked the chickens. That works. And the sly and greedy fox attacked the chickens. That works as well. So we know that sly and greedy are both coordinate adjectives, and that means they need a comma between them. So if you'll practice finding coordinate adjectives and determining if they need a comma between them with example or practice sentences 1 through 5. And our next comma rule is that you need to use a comma after an introductory element. And all that an introductory element is, it's a grammatical construction that appears at the beginning of a sentence. Okay, I know most of you will probably just write that down in your notebook, and you have no idea what that means, so it's really not going to help you at all. So some examples that I've given you are after the game, because we had overslept, coming home late from the party, and however. If you'll notice, this is how I know that there's an introductory element, comma, sentence. For example, in the first one, after the game, I know that that is not a sentence at all. But I do know that the team went out for pizza is a sentence. So in order to join those together, I need to put that comma right there. Because after the game is just introducing the sentence that is following. And the same goes with the next three. Because we had overslept. That is an amoebus, if you remember that, because, and since it starts the sentence, we need to put a comma between it, the introduction, and the sentence. these are just like prepositional phrases. Once you get them, you realize they're there and they're really easy to find. So you need to try to practice. In these practice sentences, some of them are correct the way they are, but others you will need to put a comma after the introductory element. So, for example, it says, after the next song, you will hear a famous duet. All right, I know that after the next song is not a sentence, but it is introducing the sentence that is following. You will hear a famous duet. So I put a comma after that introductory element. So take your time and practice to see how well you can find the introductory elements and place commas where they need to go.